Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're going to be starting very, very soon. Make sure we get everything up and running smooth for you. Do a nice soft opening, but boy, do I have a show for you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do, 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 do. There we go. There we go. All right, we are open. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? We already got a few of you in here waiting. I figured we'd just do a nice soft opening to get things started, baby. Oh, yeah. What up, B. Stewie? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Dan Bob Dan, the greatest moderator alive. Ooh, wee! You know already, it's Mr. Bob Tainch. Oh, yeah, said it right. I had to write it down. Gotta be honest with you. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. We got just a few minutes till we're opening. We're just going to make sure we get everybody in here just to make sure everything's going down, baby, down. Let me bring this up here. Oh, we're going to have a good show for you. I got a really good show for you guys. Really good show. Of course, with the S&P pulling back, we definitely got a few things that we need to keep an eye on today, so couple more minutes before we open. That'll give me some time to get who we need in here. Oh yeah. Send it out to your friends, your family, your mama. Yeah, baby. All right. Couple more minutes, guys. Good afternoon. I hope everybody stayed safe out there. Risk management, we preach it. There's reasons for it, and today was a good day to practice that risk management. We already got 70 in here. We got the poll up, so while you're waiting, you're more than welcome to vote on that poll. Looks like you guys already have. Oh, yeah, baby. We're going to have a great show for you guys. You have no idea. These are the days where I get very, very excited, and you might say, well, why? We had a pullback today. Why would you be so excited? I'll tell you why in just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention, please. We are going to have a beautiful, beautiful show for you tonight because this is one of my favorite kind of days. When there's fear and everybody's scared. That makes me excited. We're going to be starting in about 30 seconds. Let me get a swig of water, and we're going to get this thing started, baby. No energy drinks tonight, just water. Are you ready? You know what's weird? I get the... There we go. There we go. Let's get ready to rumble! Boom, baby, and we are back with another beautiful live meeting right here, right now, just for you. You know exactly what we are doing tonight. First and foremost, we need to go over a few things. The S&P 500, the IWM, the Dow Jones. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Dow Jones tonight. The IWM, the Russell 2000. You better believe it, baby. We got some stuff going on. Of course, the breadth in the market. And we got to figure out, are we still risk on? I want to know, are you still risk on? Answer the poll above. And if not, you know, you can just click to see what everybody else. If you're just here for the chinspiration, that's A-OK too, because you know it pays to be positive, baby, and you're a loser unless you're learning. So make sure we learn a little something tonight. We're also going to go over the economic data. You better believe it. We need to make sure we know what's going on. And today we had a little economic data drop. And what else? We're going to go over my trades. I had one main trade today. If you guys look at the profit in the general rooms, I posted it. I made over $1,400 on one trade today. I'm very proud of it, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did. Of course, it's I think you'd be surprised. I think you'd be surprised. But 1,400 in one day or on one trade, if that doesn't tickle your fancy, if that doesn't make you excited, well, then get the hell out of here, because nothing's going to excite you tonight. If you're here to make money, if you're here to learn, well, the first thing that we always need to learn is that risk management, just as we preach. And then we find a process, we stick to it, and we stay disciplined, baby. And that's exactly why we built this amazing community. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. I see Yankee is in here. Yankee, I'm so happy you found us, brother. I'm so happy you found us. Yankee popped in here and he said, sorry about all the questions, guys, but I'm just going to hit you with some. And he did. He hit us with a ton of questions today. Absolutely love it. But the very first thing we're going to tell you is get away from them damn options, man. I hear options trader all the time, and there's very few successful ones that I know personally. But let's just run through it. Dan, Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive. Welcome. Glad to see you're here, brother. We couldn't do it without you. Beef Stewie. Love the new picture, brother. Robert Tainch, good to see you. Zamora. It is awesome to see you in here, girly. Hope everything is doing well in your life right here, right now. Zell, what's going on? He says, hello, my good folks. Glad to have made it live. I'm glad you can make it too, Zell and Yankee again. So happy you're here. Who else we got? Who else we got in here? Predator, what's going on, Predator? Predator spam in the chat. Normally I would say, what the hell you doing? But he's saying risk on, baby. He's saying he's risk on. I don't know if you are or not. Covey, risk off. Covey says risk off. Uh-oh, now we're clashing, baby. Now we're clashing. All right, well, let's just run through it, guys, and then I will tell you my take on whether I'm risk on or risk off. But if you guys know me, you already know. You already know, but we'll go over it right now. This is the S&P 500. Guys, we had a beautiful, beautiful pullback in the market. Some people fear, some people fret, but us momentum traders, when we are sick of seeing failed breakouts, failed base breakouts and trend breakouts, we welcome the pullback. Please come on back, show us some setups in the market so that way we can get a hold of some of those trades, take off to the north side, because some of the best money we have made off of this $500 bounce. Nalani, what's going on? Nalani says risk on, baby. Well, vote in the poll. Don't give it away, guys. Only kidding. Glad to see it. Glad to see it. Oh, you know what I am. You already know, baby. So with the S&P 5 pulling back to the 21-day moving average and then giving us a bounce, you already know, baby. I am absolutely still risk on until we break that 21-day moving average. This is my line in the sand. Why? Why? Because if we bounce off this 21-day moving average and we start rip, tater, chip into the north side, this is some of the best times to buy. I love seeing a good bounce off the 21-day moving average, especially after all this fear came in the market. So I am risk on, baby, and that's A-okay. If you're not, that's totally fine. But again, the only reason why I am risk on, right? Actually, I shouldn't say the only reason why I'm risk on. The only thing I would like to add to my risk on is, like Dan Bob said, very cautious. 5-star setups. Only take them if you have to. We're not taking every setup, but there's not a ton of setups. And we're going to go through those setups. But first and foremost, the S&P 500 is still trading above a 21-day moving average. So that is A-okay. Let's take a look at our friend QQQ. Now this led the market to the north side, and it looks like it's leading the market to the sell side, much lower than that 21-day moving average. Next stop is that 50-day moving average, all the way down here at 469.74. Will it stop and slow and start to pull back up to the north side before we reach the 50-day moving average? Well, the last time it did so subtly right before it started heading higher. So we will see if that is the type of pull we're going to get. I know we're climbing, or we're pulling down very quickly, and I've seen many times a big pull down as it ripped back up, a big pull down before it ripped back up, a big pull. You get the point here. We're below a 21-day moving average. If this thing wants to skirt and start heading back up to the north side, that would be A-okay with me, but we need to see what the overall market is going to do here. Right now, your semiconductors, your heavy tech stocks, a little nervous to be in them, so make sure you're using risk management if you are. The IWM, it said hold my beer last week, and this thing rip, potato chip, and you guys were here when I called it. I said to you, listen, guys, I don't, mean to toot my own horn, but we called the expansion, we called the contraction, and I said, by the end of the week, I'm expecting something to happen here. And last week, we seen it. It broke out higher, and the next morning, I was up on top of a roof when I asked out loud, hey guys, what is going on? I think it was Muley who said, oh, just watching the IWM gap up to monthly highs. Like, are you kidding me? And then it did not stop, could not, won't stop. It just kept on ripping. Now we're getting a nice pullback. This is normal for the market, for the IWM. After a huge push, this might not be so normal, but a pullback after something like this is normal. So we need to see what's going to happen with IWM. Is it going to find some support right here at the 10-day moving average and start heading back higher? That would be nice to see, because we like to see our friends in the small and mid cap start to head higher. That simple. Who else we got in here? Jimmy? Jimmy, what's going on, Jimmy? Good to see you in here. Yankee said, I clicked Chinspiration, but looking my moves, I'm probably risk on. Hey man, risk on is a little risque, but it's a-okay as long as you're using risk management. Okay, so next up, I want to look at a little something that we kind of set aside here. But if you guys remember, I drew the lines out for you. What is this? The VIX Volatility Index, also known as the fear gauge. And as you can see here, we get a nice bump up. Now, why is this the fear gauge? Because this shows how much volatility is in the market. Volatility means shares, how many shares are being traded. When you get a lot of shares being traded, usually that means there is panic in the market. There is fear, and people are sell. People sell faster than they buy, okay? And this right here, you can see we have a lot of fear in the market. Back up to that $16 area. Of course, it can get much, much higher, but after we had this contraction pattern, we knew something was probably going to happen soon, and I called it. I said, guys, we might get that fear. I don't know if it works the same. Expansion, contraction, it got tight, and sure enough, just like that, human emotion prevails even in volatility. So we seen it, we called it, it happened. Of course, did we capitalize on that? Yeah, we did. We weren't looking at the VIX Volatility Index when we did, but we did capitalize on some fear today, and we will be going over that very, very soon. We also have the RSP, so let's take a look at the RSP. We knew when the IWM started to shoot up higher, we were gonna get a little bit of breath in the market, but we wanted to see it in the equally weighted S&P 500. And sure enough, we did get that in the S&P 500. We reached new all-time highs in the equally weighted S&P 500, now pulling back a little, but still, I'm very happy with this because we're still above all those moving averages, okay? Do we have any questions about the S&P 500, the QQQ, the IWM, or the equally weighted, or the fear gauge? Do we have any questions about those before I move on? No? Nothing? That makes it a little easier. Well, let me get a little sip, Shawana, and then we'll move on to my trade. We'll go on to the trade. Actually, you know what? Let's do the economic calendar first, and then I'll show you guys the trade that I took today. I did not call this out because this is not your average kind of trade that I took, but I do want to point out today, if you guys take a look at my screen right here, you will see the initial jobless claims came out today, and it was much higher than the forecast and higher than expected. I'm sorry, higher than the forecast and higher than previous. So what is initial jobless claims? Initial jobless claims is how many people are actually filing for that unemployment service. More people are filing shows that more people don't have a job. Now, we know from talking with Papa Powell, because he was on the show, we allowed him to take a hold of the microphone and spit some mad lib into the mic. Well, we know with talking to him, he is in a balancing act. He said usually his worst fear is a cyber attack on the banks. Now his worst fear is having that balance in the market between keeping the labor high and the inflation low. And now that inflation's down to about 2.6%, he didn't say he needs to wait until we're at 2% to start to cut, because if we wait that long, the jobs might start to have an issue, because then people can't hire, they can't afford their businesses, they can't afford their buildings. They can't afford anything, so they can't hire on. So where's the first place they cut? They cut labor. They cut labor costs. People can't afford as much. So with this being said, a higher jobless claims is going to show that he is most likely going to want to start cutting sooner so we don't have an issue down the road. All right, so this might be good data for the CME Fed tool to show us that we are going to get a cut sooner than expected. If we look at this data, we can see that we have a 95% chance that we are going to have a rate stay in July. So nothing's going to change this July, but it's September. If we take a little peeky gander here, you can see that we are expected to come down at least a quarter of a basis point by 93.5%. What we think is very cool about this is another quarter of a basis point at 55% here in November and December. Take a look at this, guys. A 50% chance that we're going to be 3/4 of a basis point lower, okay? So we're sitting at 5.5. That's a quarter. That's a quarter. That's a quarter. That's 3 rate cuts. And if you guys have been following me for any time whatsoever now, we knew in the beginning there was going to be 3. Then with all the issues and the CPI and the PPI data that came in, we knew that September we were going to get at least 1. And then once the data started creeping back in, we said 2 by December. Now it's looking like 3 by December. Okay, so those initial jobless claims are starting to change some things. So why, if we're going to be getting rate cuts, are we starting to head lower in the overall market? Well, I'm taking the data as we're going to cut, and I am going to continue to be risk on until we break below that 21-day moving average. We still have very positive data. We still are showing that things are looking well. And if we continue to watch, we continue to see positive things happen, well, we need to sit back on the sidelines, watch price action, because that is going to be the first most leading indicator with looking at the S&P 500, so that way we can take our trades. And we'll show you today a few on the watch list that you need to keep an eye on, so that way you know when these set up, when to take them. Now, while I have you guys here, before I show you this next trade, I want you to take a look at my screen. Of course, I want you to click this live button. If you don't click that live button, you're not going to see things as they are happening while they are happening. Of course, guys, while you're here, click that like button. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Everything that we bring you is absolutely free, and we are growing so stinking fast. Within 4 days, we had another 70 subscribers already on this channel. It's like we hit 1K and then everybody wants to be a part of this, which I'm a-okay with. So let's keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. And I'll refresh this. We'll just see where we're at right now. We're at 11 likes and only 15 people, or not only, we're only at 11 likes with 15 people watching. Get off your lazy ass and hit that like button. Of course, guys, right here, Dan, the greatest moderator alive, has posted the link tree. If you click on that, you can see we have a beautiful list. My YouTube, our Discord, our free Discord, the TradingView platform that you'll see that I'm working on right now. If you click on this, you'll get a free month of TradingView. Of course, you can use it for absolutely free, but if you want the essential plan like I use, then you will get $15 off or 1 month free on us. You're more than welcome to click that and use my link. We get a little kickback if you end up signing up. We also have an Instagram, a TikTok, a Facebook, and a Twitter. Riddle me this, guys. Riddle me this. Yes, sir. Bob. All right. Now, back to what we need to talk about. I got a little something for you guys. This is beautiful, 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 beautiful stuff. I'm just going to bring my Trader Sync. So also, guys, if you want this Trader Sync, just check my description down below. You guys can get this Trader Sync. This is exactly what I use here. This tracks all of my trades. And if you'll see right here at the top here, my net return on this one trade today was $1,446. And you can see this. There's no faking it, no nothing like that. I just wanted to show this to you guys, and then we'll go over it in the chart, okay? So I took one short here. Once I seen the volume come in, and I exited a quarter, exited a quarter, exited a quarter, and then took my last piece out. All right, so read them and weep. This was a beautiful, beautiful move, and I'm very, very proud of it. And now I want to show you exactly how and why I took this. What is this on? NNE. Why did I take this on NNE? Well, let me show you the beautiful flagging formation that we see here on NNE. Now, what am I expecting when I'm looking at this flagging formation? Well, of course, I'm expecting this thing to break out. Now, this isn't for the faint of heart. This isn't something I teach. I don't teach shorts. I teach long. So why am I shorting? Well, if we dive a little deeper into this, you'll figure out after you've been doing this for a while that instead of taking the volatility and taking the break side to the north side on volume, you can do the same thing for the sell side on the breakdown. Now, I don't recommend anybody doing this. This has a lot more risk and a lot less takeaway from doing this, okay? There's a lot of initial risk when you short something, because if you short something, it can go up exponentially, but you only can get as much as it going down to zero. Okay, so keep that in mind, that there is more initial risk shorting something, and I don't recommend it personally, okay? So do keep that, definitely do keep that in mind. So let's dive a little bit deeper into why I did this. Here is the 5-minute time frame, and you'll see right here, guys, just as we went over in our chat yesterday, you'll notice that we get a big push on volume right here. So what does that volume tell me? Well, if we're playing a breakdown on this, and you could even look at it a little bit closer, as here is the ascending trend, but I like this right here, the ascending trend, and then it breaks down right here. Here's the market open. Here is a huge blurb of volume. This is where I took the trade, as I marked out for you a little bit ago. And as it pulls back and down, and we can look at this on the 1 minute so you have a better understanding. As it moves back and down right here, we exit a piece after a big pullback, and then we wait. We exit another piece on a big pullback, and the last final piece on a big pullback. As it pops back up, I realize this trade is most likely over. And sure enough, it just traded sideways most of the rest of the day. So we got the maximum that we possibly could out of this trade, and we made about $1,400, and this is just, there's not many of these that come along. So I did the same thing on ARM, ARM. If you guys look at ARM, if you guys remember when I took this short on ARM, back here, let's bring up the daily. There was this short right here on ARM. It's the same strategy. We have the trend, and we're looking for a trend break to the north side. We also have a basing bottom right here. Let me just draw this out for you. A basing bottom right here, And on this day right here, I took this to the sell side. Very heavy volume came in on that 5-minute, and I played it this one day. Of course, it headed much lower over the course of the next few days, but I don't like to hold overnight a short sale trade. So with that being said, it's a-okay. I made the most of the move, and I'm happy with the fact that I got the meat of it. So that was my biggest main trade. Other than that, I stopped out on all the rest of my longs today. Some of them losing money, some of those I made a little bit of money, but overall it wasn't the best and most positive expectancy, okay? Of course, because we're getting a pullback. So let's run through our list now. Let me get a drink real quick. We're gonna run through our list now, guys. We're gonna run through our list. What? Jolene's here? What up? Jolene. Now it's a party. What'd you bring, Jolene? Jolene, you bring cupcakes? We need a little cupcake in my life. Actually, check this out. I got this. I don't know if you guys remember Cosmic Brownies when you were growing up, but they come out with these Oreo brownies, which are kind of like the Cosmic Brownies, but they are way, way better. And you can buy a big box of them, and you can split them with your wife. It keeps her happy. It keeps me happy. And, they're probably 0 calories, probably. I don't really know. But they are delicious and nutritious, okay? All right, guys, so we're going to run through this list. Now, we have this amazing gentleman. If you guys don't know him already, he is our scan master. His name is Pablo Picasso, or you can call him Paul. Paul has been doing programming for quite some time now. Actually, I don't even know how many years, but from just talking with him, I've had a meeting with him for 2 nights in a row now, and I've chatted with him for a little while, and he has been a huge addition to this crew, and it's just so awesome to see. He has been wanting to take our 500 scan list, and he broke it down to 300, then 150, and now he's been working with your boy Covey and I quite extensively to get this narrowed down to just a few. So that way, when we're looking at our stock charts, when we're looking at our scanners, when we're looking at the list that we give you guys every single week, if you're in our Discord, you'll get to see that. You add this to your trading view, which if you don't have trading view, use our link so that way you get it for absolutely $0. And of course, we go through these. Instead of going through 500, 300, 150, Paul has brought this down so that way you're only looking at about 50 stocks. That is an absolute beautiful thing, and he is not finished yet. He says we can do this even better. I commemorate you, Paul. We do appreciate you. So we're going to run through this, and you'll notice there's some of these right off the bat. You'll see it's a lower RS rating, so you can just skip those right off the get if you want and not give them any attention. But if you don't care about the RS rating, you can use this. In our strategy, we like to know that we have relative strength compared to the S&P 500, so that way if we do get a pullback and we are in one of these stocks, it's less likely to pull back, okay? So we have LCID, Lucid in this. Now the RS rating is 53, so we're gonna pass that one up. But what I do like is this LNTH. LNTH is definitely one you're gonna wanna keep on your watch list. This is not actionable for like tomorrow, but I can definitely see this thing setting up in the very near future. Let's just draw this out and we can even paint the picture for you. As we just take our brush and we do a little something maybe like this, and it gets really tight, and then, you know, maybe eventually it breaks out. We also could pull back to the 21-day moving average and do the same exact thing, okay? We could go ahead and take our brush here and we could just pull it back here, you know, come all the way down here and get tight here and then take off to the north side. There's many, many ways you can actually look at this, and there's many ways you could play this. But personally, we are looking for a base or trend breakout in this certain situation. So yes, we're seeing it. We're seeing you guys pop. Jolene says, it's hot in here. Cali shaved ice tonight. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's low cal too. A little sugar syrup in there. I see Dan Bob Dan posted the trading view in the chat. B. Stewie says, thank you so much, Paul. Jolene says, thank you so much, Paul. Yes, we really tip our hats to Paul. We really, really appreciate him being here. So Paul, from the bottom of my scanner list, thank you kindly. LNTH is definitely one you want to keep on your watch list, guys. This thing is not setting up for tomorrow, but I would say possibly next week, of course, if we hold a 21-day moving average. AUR on the same scenario. ADR 8.8%, RS rating 94, definitely one to keep on your watch list. QS, if you guys remember, I played this as an episodic pivot. I made plenty of money to the north side. Now pulling back, I exited out of this full piece because we ran into resistance right here, and so I exited out of this full piece because I figured we're going to pull back. Sure enough, we're going to pull back, and hopefully we can set up on this 10 or 21-day moving average. The RS rating is a little lower than we want right now, but I don't think that that is low enough for us to take it off of our watch list. RNA is looking very nice after a big push up and a trade sideways. You can see we had this nice basing right here as we undercut and rallied, and then sure enough, we broke out of this basing structure, now pulling back to the 10-day moving average. This is not an actionable play area yet. You could consider this a trend break area right here, but we would want to see this get tighter for at least another day, possibly two, with an RS rating of 99 and an ADR over 4%. Now we're going to run through quite a bit of these pretty fast, so just please pay attention. Okay, we have ENVX. This might be in the future, setting up on the 21-day moving average. KYMR, this is a beautiful looking stock as it pushed up on higher volume, now pulling back with the rest of the overall market. Let's see if it can catch a 10 or 21-day moving average. Up, UP, this is probably the most actionable trade setting up in the market right now. We do have this beautiful trend right here. We also could look at this as a basing breakout right here, depending on how you want to look at it. Personally, I like the trend. I think you would like the trend too. Let's give this a couple more days. Get really tight in here on this 10-day moving average, and then break out to the north side on volume as we look at it on the 5-minute as it can push higher. Now, I know that your boy Predator is going to like this one. He's been eyeballing Wolf and CORZ for quite some time now, playing those data processing services stocks. With an RS rating of 99 and an average daily range of over 12%, Wolf can make or break your account if you don't use risk management. So please be very careful playing these, as this thing still needs some time to set up. It had a nice pullback today, but if it can get tight, and again, find a base or a trend breakout. We also have HUT, ACHR is looking decent, but you have to keep in mind, ACHR is probably the least likely on my list just because the RS rating is about half of where we would want to see it. LBPH, now this is looking really actionable. This might be something that I'd want to keep an eye on. Maybe I'll just set my alert right here. This is looking more, if we give this some more time and it gets tight, this might turn into a trend break, but I'm looking for more of like a basing breakout kind of right here, guys. This might trade sideways for a while, bounce between 36 and 40.50, and if it continues to do that, that might be a nice area to break out of there. We have AILE, not liking this one, under 36 RS rating. Jumia Technologies. This is like your Amazon of what, Africa? I don't really know. Let me see. Technology services, internet software. Let's see, the company, blah, blah, blah. Jumia Technologies AG engages in the provisions of logistics services and operates as a Pan-Africa e-commerce platform. I don't know how I know these things. Been around a while. Hawaiian Electric, HE, too low of an RS, PBI. This is looking nice. I like this push up here. It still needs some time, obviously a basing or a trend. EVGO, and this is exactly how I do it, guys, but instead of going through 500 or 150 stocks, now we only have to go through 50, so I'm doing it live for you right now. And if you like this, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, send me some love, baby, send me some love in that chat, because we are doing this for you. We try to do our absolute best to grow a community that knows exactly what we are looking for, because if we have more eyes in this market, the better off we all are, so we don't miss a thing. We aren't robots, but we like to trade like we are. But we all know human nature never changes, so we need to look for human nature, a big expansion, that contraction, and then a nice tight area to grab that risk management to play to the north side. That being said, let's continue on, and I see all that love in the chat. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. We got EVGO is what we're on, so EXK is the next one. Let's take a little peeky gander, and sure enough, this looks like this would be more of a basing pattern at $5, but we'll see. We got to give this some more time as well. This is in silver, guys. This is silver. So silver looks like it must be doing A-okay. HEPS, this thing is looking very beautiful too. Again, I still think it needs some more time. We're going to see as the market has a pullback bouncing off the 21-day moving average, or if it's going to break down. Oh yeah, I'm on my phone, so my responsibility is going to be a little slow. That's all good, dude. I don't care how slow your response is, as long as you're here with us, man. I want you learning. I want you to stay away from those options, and I want you to have a process. Everybody needs a process, man. If you don't have a process, then you are just fixing to get yourself hurt in this market. HUMA with a 99 RS rating and an over 10% average daily range. This is definitely one to keep on your watch list, guys. It looks like it's going to set up a trend breakout here, maybe after a couple more days. Rides and surfs this 10-day moving average, getting tight around that $7.20 before it breaks out. And we only got a few more here, so pay attention, guys. NAB needs time. XPOF needs some more time. CLOV, Clover Health, looks like it's doing very well. This is a penny stock. Now, I know some of you guys have very small accounts. This is a small account advantage right here. When you see something with an RS rating of 98 and an average daily range of over 4%, this one particular, 7.39%. CLOV might be one you want to keep on your watch list, but do keep in mind, we need to wait for a pullback. We need to wait for a basing pattern or a trend breakout. As you can see here, we get a big push up and a pullback as it starts to trend. You could have played this. Look at how beautiful this play would have been. You get a big push up on volume, 24.6 million shares. As it pulls back and bases out, it comes back, rides the 10-day moving average, and then look, we have two inside tight days here after everything held on the 10-day moving average, and then boom, it breaks out on higher volume. This is exactly what we're looking for, folks. And now we get another push up higher. Maybe we find another base up here at $1.70, and we can see if it wants to hold that 10-day once again and break out on higher volume. These trades are trades within trades, and if you get a base on top of base structure, we've talked about that before, those can be extremely powerful too. Dan Yankee, I know you like those penny stocks, brother. I know you like those penny stocks. And we like them too, as long as they are actionable. As long as we're not just buying them at random and you have a process behind these penny stocks, they can be very, very actionable. OUST is pulling back. It's forming a trend. Now remember, guys, a lot of these trends aren't going to work out. A lot of these basings aren't going to work out. They're just going to pitter patter or slowly die off. But if we can see when they're going to break out and we see the volume behind them, the few that we do take can be extremely powerful and make your account. So wait there patiently like the lion or the sniper that you are. We have ORIC. We get a nice pullback. Lower RS rating than we like to see, but close enough to 90. I would like to keep this on my watch list. And we're starting to see a theme here as healthcare, pharmaceuticals are still holding up in this pullback of the market. REPL also looks like it's holding this 10-day moving average above a 200-day moving average, but the RS rating is too low, so we're going to skip out on that one. Stitch Fix. So Stitch Fix, I don't know if you guys ever use Stitch Fix, but I don't see how this thing is going to be like a company that's going to last. You can see back in 2020, it was definitely a very popular one. Anything that was able to deliver to your home just ripped higher. Excuse me. No energy drinks tonight, just water, guys. Here, let me drown those yawns out. Let me waterboard myself so I don't yawn. All right. Lost a cap. We'll get that later. All right, guys. So Stitch Fix is looking okay right here. As with an RS rating of 94, we're pulling back, still riding this 10-day moving average. If we can find a basing structure just like we have about right here, okay, maybe it forms another base on top of a base. That would be beautiful, trying to hold a 10 and 21-day moving average. RS rating, that's a great question, Yankee. RS rating means relative strength, and that relative strength is going to be compared to the overall S&P 500. So if the S&P 500 pulls back and Stitch Fix or something, Uber or any of your company that has an RS rating is higher than 90, it's going to show that it's holding as the market pulls back. It's holding out very well. Or even if the market trades sideways and that particular stock is heading higher, it's stronger than your market. So that's why we like to find stocks that are in higher relative strength ratings, because if we do get in a trade and we do get a pullback, these stocks are going to hold up better than your shit stocks, the stocks that don't have a high RS rating. Like, let's look at our REPL, okay? Let's put it this way. If the market starts to pull back and this stock is already weak, what do you think is going to happen when the market pulls back? This thing is weaker than the market. So if the market pulls back, people that are in this are weak hands. They're the paper hands. They're going to sell out quicker and faster, okay? So just keep that in mind. We like to see relative strong stocks compared to the overall market. Next is RDW. And Dan Bob, I agree with you 100%. That definitely is a very good question. RDW here, it looks like it's trying to hold this 21-day moving average. For me, this is the line in the sand for RDW, red wire, because this is held multiple times on this 21-day moving average. Multiple times. So if it breaks this, its next area is going to be that 50-day moving average. So we're going to see, does it want to hold that 21-day moving average? If it does, it might show a beautiful trend breakout here. We'll have to see if it wants to paint a pretty picture for us, just like it did right here on the 10-day moving average. We also had a beautiful basing breakout. This was what I call a double whammy. This is definitely one that you guys want to riz all over and grab yourself a few tasty little treats, because this thing showed to be very, very fruitful. You could have at least got 5 to 6 R on this trade, getting in somewhere at $7, risking $6.77. So that's let's say 23-cent risk. And then this thing moved all the way up to $8.22. So that's $1. That's 10 R, guys. That's 10 R you could have got if you got the full meat of the move. Okay, now we're not always going to get the full meat of the move. That's why I said 6 R to be safe. But this was a 6 R trade right here, guys. And it did have volume that came in on this day. If you would have used that low of day, you would have been able to take this trade. We were not here for red wire when it took off, but this is a beautiful base and trend double whammy in this stock, and you could have made some good money off that. So RDW, maybe it sets up for us again, but it's still got some proving to do. It needs to get tight, follow the trend, and maybe break out. AVXL, we see a beautiful move up here, but the issue, RS rating 52. We're going to skip that one. QURE 87, and it's pulled back. This is actually looking pretty plausible here, guys. Let me just go ahead and draw this. There's only one issue that I see on this. It needs to get tight, and we still got time for it to get tight. A couple more days, maybe next week sometime. BARK, so this is looking pretty actionable. There's two ways you can see this. You can see this here, something like that. Or maybe a couple more days, and you might see a basing pattern at $1.78. You could draw something like this. And that's two different ways you could take this structure pattern, holding a 21-day moving average multiple times. If it wants to hold this, you might be able to take this play as another double whammy. Let's check the chat. I don't want to get too far behind. Yeah, 90 to 99 RS rating. Yes, sir. And Yankee, if you haven't already, click that link that Dan Bob posted on that TradingView. Download that TradingView app using that link, and you'll see in the trading school, your boy Covey teaches you how to set up your TradingView platform, so that way you can have the RS rating right here in front of you as well. All right, guys, it is 9:40. We got a few more minutes. Let's keep on going through this, and then we'll hit up any questions you might have. CLPT, a little lower on the RS rating, but it's hard not to want to look at this beautiful trending pattern. Zell says, I haven't seen BNED on many radars. It's been pretty good. You know what? We'll go over that. And guys, I'll just give you a heads up right now. Once I'm through this, which we only have about 10 more stocks to go through, once I get through this, guys, if you want to, put your tickers in the chat. If I haven't went over something yet that you want to hear about, throw those tickers up, regurgitate those tickers, throw them up, just let it all out. I'll get the garbage can. You throw them up, and I will look at those. I'll give you the analytics behind them, and we'll see what they are. But if it doesn't have anything to do with my strategy, I am probably going to shit all over them, but that's A-okay. Jolene says, TradingView set up like this, a game changer. Thank you, Jolene, for that. I love the testimonials, and I'm glad that it is working well for you. Let's take a look at MDWD. Now look at this. Covey, have you taken a look at this? MDWD, MediWound. Now this is looking beautiful. This is in the health technology. As we've already stated, that we're seeing a theme that health and technology seem to be holding up still well. All the way since January and February, health technology has been leading the charge as we have a huge push up and a pullback, and now it's getting very, very tight. With an ADR percentage of 9.38 and an RS rating of 98, this is going to be one of my main watches right here. MDWD, look at this, beautiful basing pattern. So this is probably one of my favorite stocks that I've seen all night. I really, really like this beautiful stock right here. MDWD, guys, you can see the ticker if you guys are ever looking and you can't see where it is. Right here on my screen, this is where the ticker symbol will be and where it's currently trading. Right now, it's at $20.89, and MDWD, MediWound, is definitely one I would say you need to have on your watch list. If we get a big bounce off the 21-day moving average tomorrow, which, of course, I don't have a crystal ball. I do have a crystal ball right here. Yeah, baby. We do have a crystal ball, but I don't know what's going to happen. I like to react, not predict, and there's reasons for that, right? You get somebody that's telling you, I know exactly what's going to happen. No, that's called a guru, and then you can give them all your money and then wish that you didn't do it down the road, okay? Me, we give away everything for free and we react. We don't predict. So what am I going to do? I'm going to react to this price action area of $21, psychological and a technical area for MDWD. What is going to happen? Well, if we react to this, if we react to what's going to happen and it breaks out to the north side, my bias is to buy in on volume, right? So if we break out of the $21 area on volume, I'm expecting this to head higher. But if we head lower, I'm going to stay hands off, keep my hands clean, and either A, let this thing get tight, or maybe it breaks down and heads back down to where it came from, below this 200-day moving average. But we don't know what's going to happen. We will react to the price action if it does, because my alert's going to go off, and I will let you guys know too. All right, let's go over a few more of these, and we're going to go over what is in the chat. ANVS, this thing looks like it's setting up if it can hold this 10-day moving average a little bit lower on the RS rating, but I wouldn't mind if it tells me if there is something going down very soon. So we'll just mark this out, and I'll show you guys what I see here. Bada bing, bada boom. We're going to see if it wants to hold, and if it does, it has a chance to head higher. A little bit lower RS rating than I want to see. Now, I want to talk to you guys about RGS because we have had this on our radar for about 3 or 4 days now. And I have to say, guys, it was very unfortunate. We didn't see any stinking volume in this stock. Zero volume came in this stock. I mean, if we look into this, even a deeper dive, and we even blow this up, you can see we got a little bit more than the past 3 days, but definitely not enough to be able to take any kind of size into this. It was just so thin. It was so thin, and it's very unfortunate. Now, I would like to say that if the market decided to rip, tater chip to the north side, this thing would have went bonkers. This thing would have went, here, let me just bring up what it would have went. Bada bing, bada boom. We would have rockets. We'd have emojis. We'd have all the bells and whistles. It'd look like 4th of July all over again because our Discord would have been filthy flippin' rich. We would have bought a yacht. We would have bought a yacht. We would have went to Canada. We would have picked up your boy Covey and Robert and not Robert, Paul, and we would have just partied. We'd have said, hey, let's get some moose. Let's throw it on the Barbie and let's have ourselves a damn a grill out, a barbecue. But with that being said, there was no volume, so we didn't get to go buy our yacht, okay? So now we're just sitting here on land and, talking about it. So RGS is still on my watch list, but I would love to see this thing kind of pull back and then take back off with me in it. RS rating 99, and it's 16% average daily range. So it's unfortunate because I will still use this stock as a beautiful example because this is exactly what you want to see in a stock. Big push up higher, a nice clean pullback, following, riding, surfing, tighter on these moving averages, getting very, very tight here. It was like within like 1/8 of its average daily range, and then it breaks through this trend line. Oh man, I wish this thing had volume. I really do. I wish that thing had volume. Another one on our watch list is Zap. Now, Zap, what I'm looking for in Zap is I would love to see a pullback. Now, I seen this. If this was going to break out today, I was going to give it a shot even though it was extended. But if we would have got volume in it, I would have taken a very small share size. But because we didn't, I'm still in it to win it. And this thing needs to pull back, ride the 10 or 21-day moving average, maybe paint this out for you a little bit, maybe do one of these guys, and then we can take off to the north side when we break here, okay? So we'll see what's gonna happen with this, but it is on my watch list. Now we have SLNH. I think this is more of your better lookers right here, as we can just draw this trend line out for you. Maybe a little something like this, or if you're more into the basing pattern, something like that. Maybe it gets tight right here, and then we get a double whammy to the north side, but we'll have to give this a little bit more time because we need to see this thing get tight. ADR is 18%, and today's traded volume, percentage is 17%. So we need to see this thing get much, much tighter than what we've seen today. So let it trade sideways. Give this maybe till next week, middle of the week sometime, and then break out at the $6 area and head up to the north side. And last but not least, we have AREB. This still needs plenty of time, so it gets tighter and forms a higher trend, or forms a trend. Now we're gonna go through the old watch list, not the watch list, the old chat right here. But first and foremost, I need you guys, while I take a sip, I need you to take a look at my screen. You already know what I'm gonna ask. Do I really need to ask? Vote on this poll, damn it. We wanna see what this ends up. We got 14 of you that have voted. If you are new to the chat, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and make sure that you click that that vote button. I wanna know, are you still risk on, or are we in for some trouble? Or are you just here for the chinspiration? I know I am here for the chinspiration, baby. I needed this. I needed this live stream today. I love it. I absolutely love being here with you guys. I wish I could do this every single day. And you know what? We might end up doing this every single day, or maybe every single night very, very soon. We're growing a community, and it's growing extremely fast. And I tell you what, we have some amazing people in here. Amazing people in here. I love hanging out with you guys, and I love building this community. But anyway, hit that like. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already smashed it already. We'll keep on keeping on. All right, let's go through this chat here. We got what do we got? What do we got? Zell, BNED. Let's take a look. BNED. All right, let's take a look. So, very first thing I got to point out to you, okay, is there's an RS rating down here of 1. That's probably the lowest RS rating I've ever seen. And the reason for that is because the whole time the market back here was ripping to the north side. It's been just constantly going higher and higher and higher. If you get the overall market heading to the north side and something like this just not going anywhere and it's trading literally at 670 and is not having any volume and just trading sideways, that's going to be really, really bad. Now, this is Barnes & Noble. I do understand. But you got to understand, unless there's a squeeze here and, there is volume coming into this, sure, it might squeeze to the north side, but I much rather take my money and put it into something that has a bigger possibility of squeezing higher, or of heading higher in a more conformed way, okay? If you get into something like this and you blink, you're going to be out of that same money that was heading higher, okay? Is this going to happen again? I don't know. I'm really unsure of it. But this is not my type of trade. It's below a 200-day moving average. It's on a huge down slope, and it's got an RS rating of 1. Now, the only thing that's good is it's a faster mover at 12%, but it's not one that I want to play. So I hope you're a-okay with that, Zell, but that is my analysis on that. It's considered a doo-doo stock. Let's see. Let me scroll through this. Had a trading view, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so IVP. So Yankee, I know that you're in IVP, and we're gonna run through this because I don't mind this. The only thing I don't like right off the get is it's below a 200-day moving average. My grandma always said nothing good happens below a 200-day moving average. Yeah, she said that growing up. She said a moving average, 200-day moving average. No. You're not hanging out with that. You're not hanging out with the 200-day moving averages. This thing does move 52.52%, so this is a make or break your account. It is a rip your flippin' face off type of mover. With a 93 RS rating, this is definitely pushing higher, but of course, you need to be careful. There's lots of volume backing this thing up. I don't know anything about the news, but you just need to be careful with one of these, okay? Because this moving this fast, it can go down just as fast as it's gone up. So it's actionable, it's moving higher, it's doing its thing, but it's below a declining 200-day moving average. So if we zoom out on this thing, you'll see right off the get, this thing is just a huge pump and dump decliner. So make sure that you're taking profits when you can, because there's nothing really good coming out of this stock in the long run, okay? Let's see what else you got there for me, Yank. MBOT. So I've heard of this one before. I'm sure I've seen the ticker. I think it's a penny stock as well. This thing is garbage. This is below a 200-day moving average. It's lower. Its average daily range is under 4%, and I'm assuming its RS rating is below 21-day moving average. I don't like to look at these at all. This is a garbage stock. CDT. This is. I'm not even going to look at this. Look at this thing. And you can just look, I'm looking at the daily. Look at the daily. It's down 200 below, RS rating 1. This is a buy and hope kind of stock. Don't get into these, guys. Don't get into these. If you want a good process, something that you can constantly, but people think, I'll just buy as low as I possibly can and maybe I'll get lucky. That's not, if you really want to survive in this, quit doing that shit, okay? Follow a process. My process might not be right for you, but at least it's a process that has been proven by data and over hundreds and hundreds of trades that can be replicated, that has buy and sell rules, and you can learn it for absolutely $0. Hit that like and subscribe button, download TradingView. Bam, that's my plug, baby. But anyway, if you learn it all, if you learn everything that I teach and you don't like it, you can try something else, but at least you figured out how a process works, how buy and sell rules work, okay? And you can take a little something and run with it. But doing this you're not getting anywhere in life with this, okay? But IVP, I would say, nice. RGS is an old company. We would need a dog sled to get Covey. Yeah, screw a yacht. We can't get to Covey with a yacht. We'd have to get a dog sled for sure. Dan Bob says, nice one, Jolene. I like that. FLYE. Let's take a look at FLYE. So FLYE, let's take a little peeky gander. So this is a newer IPO. It did break that 10-day moving average. That's my biggest issue with this, okay? So unless it rallies back up tomorrow, I don't like this stock anymore, okay? I never really cared for this stock because like the push up, well, no, I do like this. It's ride that I don't care for. So this thing pushed up, it pulled back, now it's riding its 10-day moving average. But the issue with this is it just broke down. It broke the only support that has been proven worthy from this whole move here. So now that it broke that 10-day moving average, unless it rallies up tomorrow, okay, and opens up above that 10-day moving average, I don't want any part of it. Now remember looking at ride. You want to look at the Mag 7? We will go through the Mag 7. That's a great idea. So ride, I never cared for this. I know Covey brought this up and I know Covey likes this stock. I don't like this because we don't have a big push up on volume. This is just a big volume bar and it has a beautiful, beautiful trend. I really do like this trend, but this is not playable for me because there's no volume to back this move up, okay? It's just dead volume. Just people stepping over top of each other to move the price up. So I don't really care for it. But yeah, let's run through the mag stocks really, really quick. Let's go ahead. I'll just do it by memory. So we got Meta. Meta, huge pullback on Meta. It led the charge in the Mag 7, if I remember correct. So it's pulled back. It broke through all of its moving averages. Its next stop is the 200-day moving average, guys. So that's pretty bad for Meta. I can't even hold any of its moving average. I don't think Tesla's part of the Mag 7, but it is looking very actionable. I really, really like Tesla in this area. So if it can hold out here, this might be a beautiful, beautiful trade if it can continue higher from here, okay? I have it all marked out like this. I don't know if this is going to work out or not, but I would like to know if it does break out of this area. So I'll just set my alert. Let's see, what else do we have? AMZN, we can take a look at that. So AMZN was doing really, really well, but now it's right back into its area of murky waters. It took so long for this thing to finally break out and get to the north side and make new higher highs. And then it formed this beautiful, beautiful basing top at 201.02, and then it just broke down. So now it's right on top of this, I think this is the anchored VWAP, but its next stop is the 200-day moving average as well. It broke through all of its moving average as well. So that's not a really good sign for that. What else do we have? I'll catch up on the chat, guys. Just give me a minute, okay? I do apologize for that. Mag 7. I might have to just bring up a Mag 7. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, Google. Let's take a look at Google. Google pulled back, broke its 50-day moving average. My phone went off. It thinks I'm talking to it now.
First, you'll have to unlock your device.
Oh my gosh. Google broke its 50-day moving average, so that's not looking good. Apple pulled back as well, but it's still holding the 21. So it had been riding the 10-day moving average for quite some time. This is the first day And it looks like 2 months that are almost 3 months now since that earnings did it break the 10-day moving average. So that's that might be a discerning factor that it's lost its momentum and maybe it's due for a pullback. But Apple is looking the best so far out of all of those Mag 7 stocks. Okay. And then of course we got Microsoft. So MSoft, the softest, that is also broke down below all of its moving average, just trying to hold this 50-day moving average still. It's still trying to hold that 50-day moving average. Sorry for all the mess on here. These are all anchored VWAPs. So, but yeah, it's trying to hold that 50-day moving average. We'll see if it wants to do that. And I don't think I've missed any. We could look at Bitcoin if we wanted to. Bitcoin, I think, was doing pretty well. All right, let's catch up on the chat. CLSK, yeah, we can look at CLSK. So this is CleanSpark. This is a data processing services. We used to call them Bitcoins, but now they want us to call them data processing services. We have this basing top right here, an RS rating of 98, so that's really nice, and an average daily range of 8.21%. This thing has been trading sideways for quite some time now. You can see we have a base down here, and you can see that with that line there. We have a base at the top here. If this breaks out of 2068 on volume, that might be a trade. Or if it breaks down below this 1380, that might be a trade to the sell side because it would want to fill this gap down here to this $8 area. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I would say this is fine to have on your watch list and to see what happens. Of course, it's going to follow Bitcoin. So, you know, Bitcoin might be one that you want to keep an eye on if you're watching CLSK because it is still following it. If Bitcoin's up now, you can see Bitcoin had a couple of pullback days. CLSK had a couple of pullback days, but we'll see what happens with the overall Bitcoin chart as well. Let's see here. I grew up with a St. Bernard. Did you? That's freaking cool, man. Jolene's had a few Huskies. That's very cool. I grew up with labs, guys. I grew up with black labs, and I've always wanted a brown lab, but I've had 2 black labs in my life, and I had not Saint Bernard, but a German Shepherd mixed with a Rottweiler, actually. Yeah, it wasn't fully confirmed. He was a mutt, but you could just tell that he had some rot in him. So it was pretty cool. All really good dogs, all really cool dogs. Just the one that I just had pass recently, like 2 or 3 years ago. Still feels like yesterday. Great dog. He was the dumbest dog I ever had. And I worked with him too when he was a puppy. You know, I worked with him. I just didn't, you know, he was just scared of everything, man. I never hit him or nothing. He just was just so timid. So timid. And the poor guy on the 4th of July, man, he would hide in like the bathtub and stuff. It was just so sad, but he was a good dog. He was a good old dog. He helped me raise my two boys who are 13 and 10 now, but he didn't get to meet my youngest, but he was a good dog. He's resting in the backyard now. R.I.P. What else we got going on, guys? Yes, Jolene says, I love proven strategies. Yeah, Uncle Tesla. Uncle Tesla's looking good. Uncle Tesla looked like he sobered up, and he's hanging out. He's not he's not leaning on people to try and stay standing. It looks like he's standing on the 10-day moving average, and he might have an actionable trade for us. Of course, I shed my fear of missing out from this beautiful trade that we had down here, and another trend break right here that we missed. And you know, we called this undercut and rally, called it all out, and I didn't capitalize on it. I think that was the worst part about this whole trade with Uncle Tesla, is that we called all this crap out and I did not capitalize a penny on this. Matter of fact, I lost a little money trying to get in on Tesla, because every time I would try to get in on a breakout, it would break back down, and it just exhausted me. It exhausted me, you guys. And so I lost a little money, not a lot, you know, a couple $100 trying to get into this thing, no big deal. But then, yeah, we missed this big move, and it was a beautiful one. So congratulations to you if you did or were able to catch any of the meat on this beautiful move. Uncle Tesla chilling out here with an 84 RS rating and an average daily range of 5.17%. So you can use this, you can keep this on your radar. It's still within our strategy. Let's see now what else we got. I feel like I got to catch up on the chat. I love it. Dan Bob, need that oodles and noodles. I don't know which one of you guys have been saying oodles and noodles in the chat, but we've been saying, I've heard oodles and noodles today like a dozen times. Was it Swervo? I think Swervo for Prez was saying oodles and noodles. Was that him? It was killing me though. It was like oodles and noodles. Like he's taking the time to write out oodles and noodles every single time. It's hilarious. Yeah, Beef Stewie says, I know the pain, Yankee. Been there for sure, man. Oh yeah, you need a laptop too? Man, I tell you, I wish I'm telling you, if I had some FU money, I'd be sending out laptops to all you guys that needed it. Jolene, we have labs and Rottweilers. Very cool, man. You know, those Rottweilers look like they have dots right over their eyes. They're so cool. You got a chocolate lab, Beef Stewie? I didn't know that. I had no idea. That's very cool. You need to send me a picture. How old? Okay, so Mara. Let's take a look at Mara. Zell wants to take a little peeky gander at Mara. That's A-okay. Let's take a look. So it's looking like Mara is doing very, very well compared to CLSK. So Clean Spark Energy, not nearly as well as Mara. As you can see, this basing pattern that you see on CLSK, Mara actually got above, okay? So I think let me just take a look. CLSK moves a little bit faster than Mara, but you can definitely see Mara is clearly leading CLSK, as CLSK is below its moving averages and Mara is now above all of its moving averages. So if this thing can pan out, this is not tradable right now, but if it can pan out, maybe even form one of these, form a trend, or maybe form a base, like a base right here at the top, that might be actionable, but this isn't playable for me personally right now. I'd have to wait and see what happens. So that's what I got for you, Zell. Mara exclamation mark. You don't have to yell. Dave's ex was a female. Oh, dang, Dan Bob. At least you didn't use the real word. Yes, dogs are the best, and I know plenty of humans that do not deserve them. You know, they just want to have dogs, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting until all my children are sick of me and don't want to hang out with me anymore. So that way, when I do get a dog, I can give it all the attention in the world. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be my baby once my babies leave. You know what I mean? I got 3 boys, love them to death, and I don't want anything getting in the way for their attention. So once my kids are grown, you know, I'll get a dog maybe once again, but it's just so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking when they go. So, Stewie, I really like labs and Goldens. Yeah, Dan Bob. Dan, you got 2 or 3 labs, don't you? I don't remember. But yeah, guys. So that's pretty much all I got for you. The only other thing that I wanted to bring up was on the economic calendar this week, which would be tomorrow. Let me see if there's anything that we have for you guys. Yeah, no events tomorrow. I didn't think that there was, so we don't have anything to worry about. The only main thing I really want us to keep an eye on, guys, is this S&P 500. You guys know that I'm risk on, but now there's a few things. I want to show you why things are a little bit confusing for me right now. The IWM is ripping to the north side. The S&P 500 is lingering on that 21-day moving average. But let me bring up my brokerage. Let me bring up the NASDAQ. Let me just bring this up. Here's the NASDAQ. So this has got 100 stocks. A lot of the IBD investors will use this too. This thing's breaking down right now. It really started to fail here, guys. It's below a 30-day moving average. All right, but look at the Dow Jones Industrial. Clearly much, much higher than all of its moving averages, and just recently hit a new all-time high yesterday. Or no, today. Excuse me, today. Okay, so very interesting differences with the biggest stocks like the Dow Jones, your grandfather's grandfather stocks, and your very slow, very fast small and mid cap stocks, IWM. They're both trading very uniquely in coordinates with each other and ripping much, much higher than your safer stocks like the S&P 500. Okay, so it's very interesting to see. I'm going to just continue to keep my blinders on and just look at the S&P 500, using the S&P 500 as my guide. if we break below the S&P 500 on the 21-day moving average, guess what? You will not see me trade anything, okay? If I do have a perfect short setup like I did on NNE today, and I can play this same type of trade, then I'll take it. But it literally has to be picture perfect like this one was, okay? Aside from that, I'm hands off, guys. I'm not even searching. I'm not going to scour the market and look for shorts. No, I'm going to scour the market and look for longs while this pulls back. If I happen to come across a short trade, I might take it. Now, as this thing pulls back, that's when we need to be the most attentive. A lot of people will say, hey, we're pulling back. What do we do? I'm just not going to look at the market, or I'm going to walk away. No, screw that. Now's the best time to keep an eye on the market, guys. As we pull back, we want to find those setups. Now's the time. So stay focused, stay attentive, stay alert. If you take a trade, make sure it's a 5-star, make sure you're using risk management, and keep an eye on that 21-day moving average. All right? Do we have any questions? Questions, comments, concerns, anything that you guys want me to go over, you need to let me know now or forever hold your peace. While we were on the subject and you're watching this at a later time, click the description down below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Check out that TradingView software. You can see it right here. It's a beautiful thing. You can be a part of that too. Check out the trading school in my YouTube, and you will see Covey, your boy Covey, my brother, my in command. He is going to teach you how to set it up exactly how I do, so that way you're not confused. So while you guys are here looking at my screen, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I'll refresh this, and we're going to end this vote. We're going to see what we voted on here. I'm very curious. We got 16 votes on this today. We're going to go ahead and end this right now, and we're going to see what you guys said. Let me end this really quick. All right, we just ended the poll. All right, let's see if the poll actually pops up for me. Sometimes it doesn't. There we go. So my question for you guys were, are you still risk on? That's the question. Are you still risk on? The question, the reason why I ask you guys, are you still risk on, is because you know where I sit. If we're below a 21-day moving average, my hands are clean. I'm not looking for anything. So I want to know, are you risk on? And 62% say yes, still risk on, baby. 62% say still risk on. There is 25% said no, we are in trouble, or we are in for some trouble. So I can totally understand why you might think that, and you might be right. You very well could be right. I am like a sapling in the wind. I'm going to bend to whatever the market, whatever the price action is giving me. If we start heading lower, I will watch it, just like we watched it back here. We got this 6 bloody day sell-off. We watched it. We watched it come back up. We watched it pull back in here. After this bounce on that $500 area, I was risk on. Once we got above a 21-day moving average, I was even more risk on. And then we just continued to ride this. It was a beautiful thing. And if we start to break down, we're going to do the same exact thing, people. Okay? So don't have any fear. Don't fret. Just know where your line in the sand is. And if you are risk off, then stay disciplined and watch for your setups to start setting up. If you are risk off, if you're risk off, that's what I want you to do. Look for the setups. Stay risk off, stay disciplined. If you are risk on, make sure it's 5-star, and you're being very careful out there. Let's see, did my Denny's comment go through? Guys on Reddit dropped a hint to the comments. Let me see. I didn't see your Denny's comment come through. If you're getting hints or tips, I just be careful with that, okay? Be very careful. He said he was a financial advisor and couldn't say anything, but he said got breakfast at Denny's. Oh boy. All right. Well, what stock is Denny's? I mean, we could take a look at it. You know, DENNYS. DENN. Let's take a look. All right. So Denny's has earnings. This will be fun, guys. It'll be fun. Denny's earnings is on the 30th, so less than 15 days. You can see it's on a huge downtrend. So yeah. Denny's might rip because, you know, Reddit said so. But either way, I don't get in on tips. I wait until we rips, and then I tater chips, okay? I wait for a pullback. I wait for a trend or a base breakout because that is my strategy, okay? If you guys aren't aware of my strategy, make sure you go through that trading school. I promise you, if you learn the strategy, It doesn't take that long. Learn the strategy, ask the questions necessary to become a better trader, a profitable trader. That way you can make money too. I want to see everybody make money. I want everybody to be profitable traders, and I'm glad that you are with me, helping me build this community. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you out. All right, we'll scroll up the list. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Dan Yankee. I hope you enjoyed yourself while you were here on your very first live stream. It was fun. It was fun. Dan, Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive. You know for an absolute fact that I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. Jolene. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, I missed Poet. Dave, you're wearing a Poet shirt. And I'm not talking about Poet anymore. Well, I stopped out of Poet. And I think most of us stopped out of Poet too. Jimmy Bright, have a good one. B. Stewie, take care, brother. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Zell, good to see you. Thank you for swinging in, Zell. Hope I wasn't too harsh on you when it came to the tickers. Who else we got in here? Yosef. Oh no, Yosef, I forgot to do RIVN. Man, DYN too. Man, I missed a bunch, you guys. We were popping in the chat tonight. We were popping. Well, I promise we'll take a look at those sometime very, very soon. Dan, Bob, if you're still listening, let's bring those up in the chat. Jimmy, if I didn't say it, yeah, Jimmy, take care, brother. Predator, take care, Predator. Good to see you, brother. Zamora. Take care, Zamora. Good seeing you. Robert Tanch. Take care, brother. Thank you, guys. Hope you have an awesome night. Peace.